What's up, guys, to another video. So today we're going to talk about what selling on Amazon really means and how you guys can actually get started. So a lot of time when you hear about selling on Amazon, or people doing drop shipping, they talk about how much money they make. Maybe like, oh, I make $20,000 a month or $30,000 a month. What we're worried about here is, is there profit in Amazon? Is there profit in drop shipping on Amazon, or is there profit on doing Amazon FBA? So the whole goal for selling. Hold on. So the whole goal that we're and the way you do that is first by finding a product on Amazon. So the number one thing that you guys want to do is go on Amazon.com. Now, of course, there's a whole bunch of different tools that you guys can go out there and use. There's Jungle Scout, there's Viral Launch, there's, I think Jumpsend has their own. There's a Unicorn Smasher, which I don't recommend because it is free and the numbers are inaccurate from what I've heard from other sellers. So these tools are things that you want to use in order for you to find these products on Amazon that are going to be profitable. And now these things aren't going to tell you exactly which products are the best, but they're going to give you the numbers, they're going to give you the data that you need in order to determine whether they're going to be profitable or not. So if we go on Amazon, let's say we want to go look at the angle rulers, right? Now don't do this product, it's very competitive now. But the first thing that you guys want to do, you can use Jungle Scout, the Jungle Scout web app, to find products on here. I'll show you guys that in a different video on how to use that, but I don't have a membership with them anymore, so I can't really show you right now. So the first thing that you guys want to do is actually go on Amazon, like I said, and then once you have the Chrome extension, which you really need, especially in 2018. If you don't have the Chrome extension for Jungle Scout, which is in my opinion the best tool, I mean, you can try and use other stuff, but honestly I don't think it's going to be that beneficial for you, because the numbers are going to be probably more skewed, because Jungle Scout, it shows the most accurate data from these listings. And let's say you don't want to get a Chrome extension or something that's going to tell you how it's doing. You can try and figure out how many sales a product is doing, looking at the reviews and stuff. But honestly, I've been down that road. It's horrible. Do not do it. You'll waste a ton of time, and you're taking a big risk when choosing a product because you don't have all the data and information that you need to determine if it's going to be profitable or not. So just by looking at this, what you guys generally want to do when you're looking at products that you find on here, potential products that you find on Jungle Scouts or on Jungle Scout or using merchant words, you want to look at the price range, the sales, and the amount of revenue, and the reviews. So the best way to determine whether a product is good or not, the first thing that you want to look at is basically the reviews for it, right? So generally, by looking at this, it's decently competitive, but it's not that competitive, right? We don't have a whole bunch of people that have over 100 reviews. We don't have anyone in here that has like 1,000 reviews or whatever. So generally that is good. Now, looking at this product alone for people that rank for these keywords, generally when you get the Chrome extension, make sure you remove the sponsored products part right here, because we only want to look at products that are ranking naturally for their keywords, not the ones that are where people are spending money in order to rank. So let's say we just take these out, right? So when we take these out, it seems like the people in here that has most reviews is this person. I remember when this guy had like 0 reviews and was selling, so I remember this. So either this guy is basically at the top ranking for his keywords, and you have this guy down here that's 337 reviews. So by gauging this alone, you can tell that it's competitive, but it's competitive to where you kind of want to avoid it, and at the same time, when you look at the price range, it's ranging anywhere from like $5 all the way up to around $15 to $20. So when you look at these prices here, that shows you that this product, there's a bunch of price wars going around with it, which means that people are just fighting over prices. They're trying to make their product as cheap as possible, so the customers buy it instead of buying somebody else's. And that's generally something that you want to avoid in a marketplace. So if you see products like that where you see the price ranges all over the place, it doesn't really have a good range of where the price is set, then you can't really tell whether or not, if you jump on the market, and you have a set price if people are going to buy it. If people are going to buy it the way buy as many as you want them to buy, right? So by looking at this, and you look at the sales too, considering the sales is another very important factor too. If your product's selling, not that much a month, selling for this price with, maybe 100 sales a month, or 200 sales a month, you're not going to be making any profit off of that. So you have to really consider that, and a lot of times the fees, the Amazon FBA fees, you have to consider that as well when you're looking at your products. So when you can do that by looking at the FBA calculator. It'll tell you a good estimate of what your fees would be like. This one also tells you the fees if you have the Pro version, I believe. I think you have to add it on the side in the settings somewhere, but by doing that, you're going to be able to tell the amount of profit you're going to make off of this. Because if you jump on, let's say you jump on this product, right? You're going to have all these different price ranges. Let's say you set it at $15, and this product probably has a very low FBA fee. I remember when I did it, it was like $5, something like that. And the reason is because it's really light. You have to consider that it has to be really light. I wouldn't try and get into anything that's over a pound, basically, because if you do, you're going to be paying for a lot of the shipping fees, and manufacturing is probably going to be a pain in the ass, and then trying to do air shipping for it, so that's extra expenses that you don't want to worry about. So generally what you want to do, you want to find a product on here that can fit in like a shoebox or something like that, something that's very light. So yeah, generally, like I said, you want to look at this and just gauge for those things. Look at the data, and after you do it, I'd say 10 to 20 times, you'll begin to understand what I'm talking about here, about seeing the consistent prices, the the good sales each month. Generally, you want to stay anywhere between like 250 sales all the way up to like or 250 sales at least and above. And from 250 sales a month, generally you want to have a profit margin above $10, right? So we always want to consider those type of things, because those are very important when we're jumping on our product. Like, product research is the #1 factor that's going to tell you whether or not you're going to be making a profit off of this, and making decent amount of money, right? So yeah, that's the thing that you got to really consider. And the sales for these are all over the place. What you want to look at for the Jungle Scout Chrome Extension 2 is the consistency between the sales, the price, and the amount of reviews, right? So and don't be afraid to jump on a marketplace just because you see people with like 300 reviews or even 500 reviews, because like I said in the previous video, it is okay. There will be people on there that are selling it, their product on there for that have like 500 reviews, but their listing isn't that great. And then you'll see a whole bunch of other people like 10 or 11 reviews, and they're absolutely killing it. So you have to also consider that too. But yeah, that's generally how you guys can do product research on here. First, you use the Jungle Scout Chrome extension or the Jungle Scout web app. Find a product on there, and then you go ahead and you search the most broad keyword for that product on Amazon, and then you pull up the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, and then you just rinse and repeat what I just told you guys to gauge for. And of course, you want to make sure the revenue is kind of consistent as well. You don't want it to be like all over the place, like something like this where you see this guy making $560, and then this guy right here, for some reason he's making $221 a month. It's probably because of his price. Because a lot of times people associate the price with the actual value of a product. So going on to the next thing. Now the demand, everything needs to have a demand. A product that you're getting into, it has to have some sort of demand. If it doesn't have demand, nobody's going to buy it, nobody's going to find interest in it. So the way you find that out is just using the Chrome extension, just like we just went over, right? And by finding out how many sales it has a month on average, the revenue, you can tell this product has a decent amount of demand from. There's a whole bunch of people making a ton of money off of it. So going on to the next thing, demand is very important, because why would you want to jump on a product that nobody's really buying? Of course, there's just some niches on Amazon that are very specific, and people there's a small demand for it, but there's not that many sellers. In that case, yes, you could probably start selling that product and profiting from it. And then competition. So competition is something that we really want to consider as well. And the way you do that is by looking at the reviews. If you see a whole bunch of people in here like this one that have 300 reviews, 100 reviews, 200 reviews, and 200 reviews down here, and then you go into like the next page, and then what you guys can do. Let me see. Okay, this isn't acting like I wanted to. So if you go on the next page and you see that people are not, you go on the next page, you see a whole bunch of other people with hundreds of reviews, 200 reviews. Let me show you guys an example of a very competitive product that you wouldn't want to get into. Competition can be good and bad, because either it'll tell you that a product is selling good, and that you can jump onto it and start making money too, or it's telling you that it's going to be really hard to make money. So let's look up camping hammocks, a classic. So if you go in here and look at, I'll show you this is a very competitive product. So you pull up the Jungle Scout Chroma section. So this is something that you really want to avoid. So right when you pull this up, look at the reviews for this, right? People have thousands of reviews over here. And then of course you have people with little reviews here making some type of money, but it's not that much money, right? And then you might see these people here making some money. You'll be like, oh, okay, maybe I can jump on this market too. You also have to consider how much they're spending on their PPC, their sponsored listings. Because these people might be able to get on this page, but at the same time they're probably spending a whole bunch of money on PPC for this product, because the keywords are very competitive for this niche. Like products that'll be on Amazon for like a year or so plus, their keywords begin to start getting very competitive, because everyone's trying to do a sponsored listing for it. They're trying to pay for PPC, so the price just goes up and up. So these people are probably spending a whole bunch of money just to be on the first page. So this is an example of a product that you want to avoid, just by looking at the reviews. Like I said, by looking at the prices here, they look very consistent, right? But by looking at the the revenue looks good and everything, but when you look at the reviews, that shows you there's a lot of competition. There's already a whole bunch of established brands on Amazon that are selling camping hammocks that are going to be hard to compete with. Now, I'm going to show you like the good type of competition. The good type of competition, I'll show you guys a product you guys can jump onto if you want. Honestly, I think it's kind of too competitive now, but we're going to look at pet hair remover. So this product, I believe it came out, I think close to a year ago. I'm not completely sure, but I was going to jump onto this one. So when you pull up the Chrome extension for this is generally the good type of competition. I think you want to, okay, maybe not, never mind, it changed a lot. Yeah, but let me see here. Alright, so obviously this isn't the product that you want to jump onto because of how competitive it is now, but generally what you guys want to do when you gauge the marketplace and you see a whole bunch of people in here, let's say you see all this money here that's been being made, and then you look at the reviews, but these people only have like maybe 10 to 20 reviews, or all the way up to at most 100 reviews, right? And it's pretty consistent going up and down here, and then you go into the next page and the product basically looks the same on there, 10, 20 reviews, maybe at most 100, and people are making a whole bunch of money with that product and making a killing. That's an example of very good competition. It's not bad competition, because that'll show you that the product sells and that people and the actual customers are they're willing to consider other products to buy, because they know that there's a whole bunch of other brands out there that they can purchase, and one might be better than the other, not solely based off the reviews but off the quality of the product. So you have to consider that as well. There's good and bad competition on Amazon. You just have to gauge which one is basically the product you're showing. So going on to the next thing is the profit margins. Like I mentioned before, every product has its own profit margin. Each one's going to have its own FBA fees, and the way you can figure that out is by using the FBA calculator. So you go on Google, then type in FBA calculator. FBA calculator. And once you go to this website, it's by Seller Central, but all you have to do is add in, all this information on here. I'm not going to do it in this video alone because I don't want to make this video too extensive. But what you do, just add in all the information on here. You can even enter in products on Amazon, like let's say, I don't know, let's click on this one, and we want to find FBA fees for this. All you have to do is copy that and go in here, copy and paste, then enter. Oh, whoops. Hold on. I thought you can just enter the link on here. Alright, so let's go ahead and just choose this one. Because generally, let's say you want to jump on this product, you want to do a bundle for it, right? And then all you have to do is, see product details. And then once you go on that page, just enter in all the information that you would need to figure out the average Amazon FBA fees. So when I was doing this product, the FBA fees were around like $6, I think close to $7. So that's the thing you have to consider too, because once you go on Amazon, for this product, you're going to be looking at this product and be like, oh, it's selling, great, it's selling awesome. But at the same time, the fees might be, crazy. So let's say it's $7 and you're making only a $10 profit just based off this price here. And so you have to consider that. You have to see what price you can set your product as on the marketplace. What product or what price that people are going to probably buy for. So yeah, guys, just make sure you consider that. So that's the best way you can figure out the Amazon FBA fees. The other way you can do it is go on the Amazon Seller Central, your Amazon Seller Central account, create the listing like I showed in the previous video, and it'll show you, like after you enter in all that information, it'll give you the best estimate for the fees you'd be paying. So you have to consider that when when you're choosing your price for your product and when you decide what product that you want to do. So next thing is sourcing your product. So you can use a very different types of website. You can go to Alibaba.com, and Alibaba.com it's just like, you can just think of it as like Amazon, except you're buying products from China, you're buying products from suppliers across the seas. This is a safe website. Just make sure that when the suppliers that you're talking to, I made a previous video on this. When you're talking to them, make sure the only way that you pay is through either PayPal or Alibaba Trade Assurance. If they ask for a bank transfer or anything, don't do that because it's less trackable. You can't really figure out if they tried to scam you, then you wouldn't be able to trace that back. So just make sure you stick to the most safest thing when you're doing transactions on here. But yes, it is a safe site. You guys don't have to worry about that. So what you guys want to do, you just go on here and then you find the product that you want. And I already made a previous video on this. So you just want to find a supplier on here that has good quality products, that has a good price for you and that you can negotiate with, all right? And the other site that you can use is DHgate. Alibaba is somewhere where you go to manufacture your products, get your logo on there. And ship it to the actual Amazon FBA facility here in the United States. It is actually more simpler than you think. And I made a previous video on this about doing a shipping plan, etc. But the other website you can use is DHgate. So DHgate is where you can get your products. The products have already been manufactured. They've already been packaged for the most part and everything. So all you have to do is type in your product on here. And generally prices are a little bit higher on here. I think you can negotiate a little bit, but that's because the products have already had the labor put into them, so they're going to put that into the price. So these are already ready to be shipped out, so the shipping is free on here. So that's definitely something that you want to consider during the holiday season or some time where you might be about to go out of stock. So yeah. So sourcing it, like I said, Alibaba, DHgate, and then actually launching it. So the best way to compete on Amazon and to start ranking for the keywords that you want, start competing for the keywords that you want and competing with other people on Amazon, is by launching it the correct way. So this is going to be launching it is like half the whole entire game of Amazon FBA. The other one is finding the actual product, like we just went over. So when you want to make profit off of this product that you're selling, like I mentioned, you have to be very careful about the fees, the shipping, um, and the price that you set it for. And like I said, you can use the Amazon FBA calculator. And finally, when you launch it, right, you have all this set up, you have a listing set up, done all your you got all your pictures and everything. When you're ready to launch your product, you have to make sure that the listing is the most optimal as possible that you can make it. So the best pictures that you can produce, you can either outsource it or do them yourself on Photoshop or Canva, or you can try and find a Facebook group, an Amazon Facebook group where people are able to do that for you. So yeah, when you launch it, you have to make sure you have the 10 reviews, 5 verified, 5 unverified, and when you finally launch it, make sure that your product description is good, your bullet points are good, and make sure it's differentiated from everybody else on the marketplace, which is very important. Because if you launch a product, you get past all its competition on page 1, and your product just looks like everybody else is on there, nobody's going to buy it. Your product's just going to fall off the first page, and it's going to get lost in the abyss of other products too. So you have to consider that launching your product is very important, because you're going to be ranking for your keyword by doing giveaways, and you're going to be spending PPC at the same time. So that's the best combination in order for you to get your product on page 1. You can do different services like Jump Send or Viral Launch. Viral Launch is what I'm using now. I think they're the best so far for launching your Amazon FBA product. So that's definitely something you guys need to consider, because if you don't launch it correctly, like me in my first product, you'll just be rank 130,000 or something like that for your Amazon bestseller ranking, or for your Amazon seller ranking. So yeah, guys, so launching your product, the best way that you can do this, how it works is you basically contact people like Viral Launch, and then you give them these coupon codes for your product, and they have their own little marketplace where you can put your product on there and people will buy it using your coupon code. And then you basically have to match the the selling. You have to match the selling of competitors on Amazon too. So let's say this person right here is selling the best. You basically have to match their sales in order for you to get close to them on the first page, right? So if you want to sell, if you want to get next to this person and have all these different people that are buying this product right here see your product as well, you would have to be selling as much as them each month, and that combination with the PPC, that'll help you rank as well for getting next to them. And so when you start doing that, at this point you guys should understand that you want your product to look as best as possible, even better than this one. So because you got to think of it as first impressions, right? When someone sees your product, you want to be the best as possible for that product to purchase, to convert. And then so yeah, guys, that's basically it for this video. It's a little bit longer than what I wanted it to be, but hopefully you got a lot of information out of it, because this is very important if you guys want to make a profit on Amazon. Because a lot of times people will talk about how they make a whole bunch of money on here and stuff, but you have to consider all the different profit margins. Your profit margin might range anywhere from 40% all the way up to 70 or even 80%, depending on the weight of your product, the profit, the profit margin, which can be determined by the weight, like I said, and by the actual price that you set it for on the marketplace. So yeah, guys, that's everything that you need to consider when putting your Amazon on the marketplace, putting your product on the Amazon marketplace. Because honestly, if you guys don't, it's okay if you don't launch your product correctly. The number one most important thing is finding the right product, doing your research correctly. Now you can go on YouTube and find a whole bunch of different videos on how to do that. But by launching it correctly, if you don't launch it correctly, that is okay, because as long as you find a good product It's fine if you don't launch it right. You just figure out what you did wrong in that first launch. Like me, for example, I found a good product. I just didn't launch it right. I just put it up on Amazon, expected it to sell. I didn't do any good PPC. I didn't do any product giveaways or launches to rank with the competitors. And what I didn't know at the time is that, you know, launching it was half the whole entire process. So that you have to consider that when doing your product. You know, if I knew that at the time that you had to launch it as well, what I would have done, instead of liquidating my product, I would have been like, okay, I'm gonna use services like Viral Launch or Jumpstand, and I'm gonna do giveaways, you know, to rank with the competitors. You know, sell like 20 to 30 or 40 a day for a couple of days in order to rank with them. So yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got something out of it. Tomorrow I think I'm gonna do a update video on what my product is doing now. It's already at the Amazon FBA facility. I'm just getting my reviews, and then after that, it's time to launch this product, man. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like down below. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment and tell me what you guys want to see next. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.